Hello, and welcome here on my working table. Perhaps you're wondering why I have these two booklets lying here on my table, and I will explain that in a second. But before I do that, I just quickly want to introduce myself. My name is Lisbeth. I'm Danish, so pardon my bumpy English, but I think you can understand what I'm saying. But I like to do all different kinds of different things, and in this video it will be about making a book and collaging. But if you're into other things like slow stitching, jelly printing, making books of different kinds, or collaging, look at the playlist. I have divided all my content up so it is much easier to you to find what you find interesting, and then you can skip the other things. All other things I mentioned, where I say there is a link, you find under the little word more here under the video, or perhaps it's a description box. It's a little different depending on what device you are looking at. And the last thing I just want to say quickly is I have a Ko-fi account if anybody wants to support my work here with my channel and with the different challenges I have going on right now. So let me explain a little more about my thoughts here. So now you're in for a little story. My husband, or my hubby as I sometimes says, had an old friend who died last year, and my husband still visits his the widow, or his friend's wife. And that friend was a big book collector, and he has tons of books. And the widow doesn't read, or yes, he reads, but she's not interested in books as such. He was a real collector and had many fine books. So my hubby has taken several books with him home that interest him. And last time he came home with these. And I don't know why, because I don't think it is his big interest anymore. But I can tell you what it says here, translated to English directly from Danish. And both titles of these two booklets are from the National Museum's working field in 1930, and here it's 1956. And I had a big stack of them. And I've just been running through every one of them, and then I have pulled out all that I found interesting. It could be just a picture, or it could be a drawing, or whatever. All things here is black and white, or white or white. That is so much to say, because it is yellowed and old, and you can see 1930, that is many years ago. It is nearly 100 years ago. And I don't know if you had a subscription. It came out once a year, and these booklets were telling what the National Museum had been working on that year. And it could be many different things in this here. It is about a small story of something. It could be about a place that had been a digging, and many things, new things to the collections for the museum. So there also are pieces in there are from foreign countries, and so I can quickly, you can see it is really old stuff that's in here. But the way I did it, I just do it like I do now and say, is there something I find interesting? And you perhaps can say that could be a nice picture. Then I just pull that out and put it away. And I did that all the way through here. And especially I think this one was nice, 1960. 56, because that is the year I was born. So I'm turning 17 here a little before Christmas. So so I will also run through these And then I ended up with this stack here. And I know you can't see it all, and that doesn't matter, but then I had divided it up in here. There are a couple of pages with shields, and here are a couple of sheets with stone axes and flint axes and arrowheads and such things from the Stone Age. Here are some different jewelry and so on. All this stack here is with different animals, and yeah, it could be. It is just to make it easier. Yeah, here's a bunch with old combs and so on, and weaving equipment and other tools or things made of glass, or yeah, it can be anything. I think was nice. And then there was a lot of drawings also, and I like these kinds of drawings, or drawings like this. And right now I have absolutely no idea of what I'm going to use of this and how much of it I'm going to use. If I'm going to put translucent paint over some of it, but I know I want to make some kind of a book construction using these papers. And the story of this book I will make is not a cohesion story, because it will just be of pictures or elements I find interesting, and perhaps they are 200 years in space between them, so it isn't chronological or any. If you were a museum worker or had more knowledge of these things than I have, you will probably say she's crazy the way she's doing it, but I will do it because I like the look of it. Let us say so. So this is the plan for this book, and I think at this time I know it doesn't fit very much here in the camera size, but I don't want to make a landscape book. I think I will try this time to make a tall, skinny one, if it can work. I will decide that later. But this is just me filming it right now while I have done this, picking the papers and have the books, and the rest of it will go in the bin, and then I will decide what to do with it, and that isn't today or tomorrow, so I will save this little video here, so next time you see me here I have perhaps wear another blouse or have different nails or another rings on it, but I just thought I would take the video here of this right now and save it for when I start. Okay, I will see you soon. For you it will be, and for me it will take some time to get started. So here I am again, and it is a couple of weeks since the last little clip here, and things has developed in another direction. I teach a bunch of women every second Wednesday, 4 times at spring and 4 times in the fall, and this fall here it was the 7th time, and we have been primary jelly printing and making all different things with our jelly prints. And last season here I showed them how to alter an old book and make a new cover and pull pages out and so on. And this is my book for demonstration of how you can make a new cover and so on. And there's nothing here in the book right now beside the front and a little here on the back. And why not use that for this book I was talking about? I know I was talking about making a high skinny one, but I will use this book here instead. And you can use any kinds of books, old books you buy in the second-hand store, and do this. And I won't talk much more about the book itself and how I did that. That was be for another video. But I can put some links on. I think I have the first book I have made this way was on my series on my Monday mornings mixed media pieces. But I will look back and see if I have other book constructions like this. And perhaps I can link that, or else I can link what I have of books made like this here. So shortly told, I made a mistake because I had told the women or my students that I would buy the books because I know what is the right kind of books to use. And the most important thing is that the books are sewn together, not glued together. And I have done it several times before, so I know a specific kind of children's or youth book I have used before were sewn together. So I just went to the second-hand shop and grabbed 10 of these books and got home, and I gave the books to the ladies. And yeah, somehow the company has changed the way they made the books, so some of the books were not sewn but glued together, and that can give troubles, because if you use books that are glued together and you start pulling pages out, at sometimes all the book will fall apart. So I have glued some pages together, 2 and 2 here, but here I instead have put some medical tape. It's just some tape I buy in our local pharmacy, and I've done that every way in every crease here, so I know it won't be falling together. So now this book here is ready for using. So enough of talking about this. I can perhaps at another time make another video on how you can do this. But I talked about all the pages I have been pulling out of the booklets from the National Museum, that I would give them a glazing so they don't look like that. And I of course have some different paints that are translucent, but I got thinking about, I think it is 3-4 times, no, not times, but years ago, I bought these ice ink, and they are translucent. It's a kind of gel, and I haven't been using them at all, and frankly I just forgot I had them. And I know they are translucent. That is why I probably bought them at that time. And this one here is so old and thick, so I nearly can't get it out of the packing here. But I can show you how they work, because that is what I have done with all the papers. And when I'm done showing you this, I will insert a little clip of my floor so you can see how many of these I was doing. And you can see it can hardly come out here. And then I have a palette knife, and I'll just put it there. And perhaps I will take another color also, so we can mix it a little. And this here is easier. I think it's, I don't even know if it also is thickening up. But pardon me, you can of course use any kind of translucent paint if you want to give your black and white or black or creamy papers another color. It is like putting frosting or something on a cake. And I like mixing them. And of course you will get striations or marks, but yeah, I don't mind that. And the little clip I will show you in a second is these papers on my floor was lying there from when I made them one day to the next day. So they are quite sticky. So, but you can clearly see the images up through, and that is what I like. So, and I don't have many colors, but I have a few. So, and I also have some gold and some bronze, and they are not so translucent as the other ones are. But now we can try this here to mix and match. But again, you don't need to have these, and yeah, I don't think they are my favorites, but now I have them. I think it's a shame I don't use them. And it often goes like this. I see something and then I think I can't live without that. And not so much anymore, because now I have a lot of materials, but before yeah, so I have a lot of things and I end up not using them because, oh, they were a little expensive, or that must be for another better project and so, and then you forgot you have them and end up using the things you always use because you like to work with them. And that's a shame. Use what you have when you have it, and perhaps don't buy so many things. So this is just the way I'm doing it, but again, you can use ordinary translucent paint for this also. But I really like, I can see it up through, and it is a little grungy. That's what I like. So I will insert that little film there, and then perhaps I will start collaging in my book. I just forgot one thing. I also have this in black, and I thought, why not try to give this a glazing here of black, and see how that looks, and if that also goes grungy. Yeah, and it does. I really like this. You have a little time to move around with it before it dries, and it takes a longer time, and that's why I left mine on the floor for the night, so I was sure it was quite dry. That looks really, really yummy. I really like that. So that I must remember also to make some pages with this. I haven't done that already. Okay. So now I have taken my big box here of all my things I use when I collage. And sorry if I'm shaking, I'm holding my phone in my hand right now. But yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but I have some plastic latex in here, and I have divided my papers up in different colors, one with black and one with green and one with rust and one with, and so on and on. And here in the front there also are some small bits and bobs of different things. So all this will be standing here by my side when I start collaging. To make it a little easier for myself, I have all the pages you saw on my floor. I have cut the images out with a big space between, so now they are ready for get using. So it is a little more handy for me, so I will just lie them here in a stack. And I will just start on the first spread and think which images I will use, and then I will dig in my big box as I just showed you and find some things I think will look nice together, and then I will just glue them down with an ordinary glue stick. And this is the way it will be going. And I think I will perhaps make a couple of spreads here, and then I will make some by myself, and I will perhaps make a part 2 where I can do some more spreads. So that is the plan for right now. So I've just been in my plastic satchel here and found some papers I think looks okay with the color scheme of the 2 images I have chosen. This is something for weaving. You can weave braids with this size of a little loom. And what that is, the text was only saying small pieces from a specific area in Denmark. If it's I don't think it's a spoon. If it is some kind of awl, or perhaps this is a spinning thing where you can spin yarn. I really don't know, but I think they look nice together. So I think, and this one, I know I like, if I put that one there, I could also put it there. I think I would go for that instead. I would put this up here. Or I would put it up here because it's more filling. The biggest of the image is there, so I would put that up there. I like them to be diagonal that way. So I know I need a straight line there and a straight line there, because I will let it go to the edge of the book. So for a start, I will just take my ruler here and do that. And again, I will get a lot of scrappy papers, but I think I will let them go to the bin. And there. So now I know I have 2 straight edges there. And that is fine. So I can, in this case here, just tear. I like torn edges. And do I want the text here? Yeah. I don't think I do that. I know what it is, but some of it can be peeking out. So this will go there and this will go there. So now I need to find some papers to cover the rest, and that is exactly not long enough. And I don't know if I like that color there. It is perhaps too pinky. I can go for it here. That's okay here. But yeah. I think they are okay together, these 2 papers, color-wise. So, let me see. Yeah. I'll go for that. And then I can put something in the bottom of some kind. Perhaps some text, or, yeah. I think I will, you can see it's a little crooked here, so I have to go a little up. But, yeah. I can also go this way instead. Then I have the whole page and put that one up there. But isn't that a little boring? I like the black marks, and that is why I am rumbling around with the pages right now. So if I go this way here and crease it there and go up there, I can cut a strip of that off there. I think that is the way I will go for it, for this page here. So I will just put my ruler here in the crease and go a little further over there. So now I can glue this on. Yeah, and I can see I didn't cut enough of it off. But I think I will hold the crease a little free so it won't be so crowded in there. And then I will just measure that's there. Let's see, about there. I will tear it. So this is my first piece I would glue down. And I will just use an ordinary glue stick. And I have a stack of the pages I have pulled out of the, torn out of the book. And I will use them for sheets to glue on, so I don't ruin anything else. And I will say, as I said a little million times before, don't be precious with your glue stick. Of course you can use matte medium, no one would say anything to that, but it has a longer drying time, and it is, since there's more viscosity in the fluid medium, it can get your pages to wrinkle more, and if you don't like that, go for a glue stick instead. And this here is also for my own amusement. It isn't for, I don't make museum pieces. It is just because I think this is a nice way to work. Yeah, and then I need something here. And this one is too small, but it's okay. So we'll take a piece of that, and I can tear it. And how about a piece of that also, if that is big enough. Away with that. Yeah, I think that is fine. But I think, do I want it there? Or there? Yeah, I think I would go for it this way. So I will just tear a little of this off here and give it a dab of glue. And place it a little over there. And also tear a little of this. I really like it, these torn edges here. And on with this little piece. And I can always cut the edges clean here when I'm done, when it's dry. And then it's just placing this here. And this is the way I will work here in the book. And perhaps I will do some mark making or something also. So I think I will find something, a plastic chatek or something to put under here, so I better can see the page instead of it lying up here on the other pages. So this is how this ended. I can see I really should take care of putting enough glue here on the pages from the booklet, because it is a heavier paper than the copy paper I'm using. But this is how the spread ended up now, and I think I have this strip here. I want to put a strip of that in here also to give it a little boom 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 here, just like that. There. And then I would take my scissor and then I would just cut it clean here from the other side. There. And there. And away with these small bits and bobs. And I don't have here. I also have to cut this clean. Bin with that. So now the edges are clean, and I can see I could have come closer here, but then I have my lovely Caran d'Ache, and that means I can go in here where I think it needs a little more oomph, and they are water soluble, so it is just putting wet paint, and I can also do it like this. Yeah, it is a little tricky here on the edge, but for instance there, if I want to go in there and put a little extra on. Here I don't mind it is turning into that color there, and that it is fading out like this. And this here page here I like as it is. I think perhaps it could need some text, but this here I think I need to do something, and this is what I'm thinking right now is I'm just rumbling around here in my Caran d'Ache, because here I also have my Stabilo all, and I just think I will go for the lines here to give it a little more definition, and putting some black in also. Just like that. And again I can take my water brush, and then it will be a little more black than the line itself. But if you don't like that, you could let it be, or just use a ordinary pencil. But I like it. It gets a little more black. Can you see the difference? That really does something. And you can see here that there nearly is a line there. So that line I can also, and now I'm really giving it a good amount. And then I can just let it go there. And suddenly it looks more finished to me. So that will be this spread here, so it will have to dry a little. So I will figure out, I think I will do one more spread here, and then this video will be as long as my arm. And then I will make another part 2, and there I can do a couple of spreads, or how many it will take to make a video of a certain length. But I will dig my next batch of paper here to use for the next spread. So I picked these two images. That is a forehead of a deer, or that is the whole skull of another deer. I don't know which one it is, but I think they fit nicely together. And these are the papers I have digged out for this spread here. So I think I will go for that. This is going to be the top here. So let me see here how much room I have to wiggle room here. I'll go for that there. And I will take this one out, and this away here. There. So now it is just gluing this down, and I can see it fits there, and then I can cut the overhang off. But I think I want my voice here. I will tear some of this off so I get a torn edge. There. And that's a nice little strip you can save for something if you want to. But if you keep saving and saving all your scraps, you will end up not be able to be in your apartment or in your house. So at one point we all have to clean up a little. I have a big box where I often put my leftovers in, and this box I take with me when I'm out teaching, because yeah, somebody can benefit for just a little piece of something in my box. So that's nice when I sometimes can recognize some of my bits and bobs and pieces in other people's work. So there and there. And then I think I will go for a dark thing here. And perhaps this is the darkest one. So I think I will glue this down first and see how much and so on. So I will glue this on, take a strip of this one, cut some of it off so I can save it, because it's a nice, lovely piece of paper, and glue this on, and you will end up with something like that. I can show it to you when you don't need to see me glue it. I have been gluing a lot already. So now this is glued down, and I can see that's missing a little up here. So again, I will just go in with my Caran d'Ache and give it a little. Yeah. Sometimes I don't mind if there's some white things, but other places I don't like it. And here I had this little strip I was tearing off somewhere, and I think I will put it there, just under here. So again, I will glue this on. And that is, yeah, I don't say you should save everything, but it just was saying to me, put me there, put me there. And I think it is fine with that little extra something there. And perhaps I will just make two round circles there. And what color do I want? A reddish brown. I think perhaps black will be too much. Yeah, this one here. So again, I will just eyeball it here and do it like this. Yeah, and they ended up not quite the same size, but who cares? And then I will take my water brush and just go around like that. And let that dry. And then I would say this page is done. So we can sit there and dry. And now I know this has to go here in the corner because this one is up here. And that is the way I like it. So I know I want a straight edge there. And a straight edge here. There. Whoops. And away with these two small things here. So this is the way this forehead here over there is going down. And I have this piece here. I think the movement in this paper and these, I don't know what they are calling this, these things, there, horn, maybe it's not called horn when it's a deer. Horn is, I think, on a cow, but I think I would go for this paper here. So I'll just tear it straight there and go for it like this and find a little piece there. And what this little piece should be, I don't know yet. But here I think I will tear. And you can see there is no rhyme or reason here. That is some tools. And now there are ideas, but I think the way the color scheme will end up is in this rusty color scheme, and that doesn't fit very much to the color of the fore and back side. But yeah, it must be like this. But again, I can give it a glazing perhaps, but I think I will wait until my book is done and see if it bothers me. But already now I feel it will bother me. But yeah. I also have to take a strip of that off and figure out what to do. But I will do that outside camera. Yeah, I can of course do it like this here. I have to remove this here. There. And away with that. And let me see here again. Oops, the other side up. Here. Where is my deer? The head of my deer. So about there you can see I just put my finger over here so I can feel it. And then I can just go over it here, crease it, and hopefully it will tear nicely. Yeah, it does. Yes. And I think it was this way I wanted it. And again, I can come in with my Caran dash. So I will just glue this piece down, and I think I will just remove this here, there, and there. Yeah, I really like the movement of this here, and I can't remember how I did that sheet, or that piece of paper, but I think it is something with India ink on a jelly plate, on a wet jelly plate, putting my brush through it, as far as I remember. There and there, but I don't like that one there. Now when I'm looking at these small ones there, perhaps I can use them here. And make more of them. So if I glue this on first, and then this one on, and then this one on, I will do that, and then I will make a lot of more of these round ones there. Okay, so this was my gluing paper that ended up here with these round ones on. And you can see it's about seeing the possibilities that is right in front of your nose. And that's quite funny. So now I will just go in with all these, and then I will put some water on, I think, and see what happens. This is perhaps the one there. Perhaps it will just end up like a big hot mess when I put water on, and that's okay with me. I don't know if the circles will be there, but yeah, a little perhaps, but it's quite fine. It will end up a mix, and I really like, I can see the text peeking up through there. That looks quite yummy. And I put a little something extra on there also, there. And that is it. And then I will cut the edges clean. It is always easier to do it from the back, so you can just let your scissors follow the page. And here it is really tricky, so I will have to go the other way. So I will just feel my way. You have to, yeah, to hit the book page with the edge of your scissor. And not the edge of, I don't know what that is called. Inside there. So away with all these small bits and bobs, and this also has to dry, and that would take a little, but doesn't that look yummy? Yeah, there's a little something there. So I will let this dry, and then I will flap it together and put it under some heavy pressure, so my pages will be lying nice and flat. And if there are places where the glue is jumping off, like for instance here, that is between, I had glued two pages together, yeah, you can just give it a little extra. But don't smack it together before this is dry. So this was the first part of this book, where I used images from our National Museum's booklets about their work from the old days, nearly 100-year-old booklets. And there will be a part 2, I promise you. I just found some images of some, I think they are called petroglyphs, like something like that. We have a lot, we have many here in the Nordic countries, not many in Denmark, but so I put one, I had given it the black, this black here, and so it is sealed now, and I found another one I put on here. So now this book is indicates what it's in it, and if I ended up not liking the turquoise here, I can always give it a glaze with my golden paint with the nickel azo gold, the Queen Aqueduct nickel azo gold, or perhaps another one, but I will figure that out later. So I ended up with this spread here, and I think it is really yummy, but again, it's my favorite color, so that's not so strange. But I will just round this video up and saying, I think it's about seeing possibilities in things that were meant for something else. Use what you have around you instead of jumping out and buying a lot of stuff you sometimes even don't need. You look around you, ask your friends and family if they perhaps have things they don't use anymore or that you can use. Our library here, local library, all the libraries in Denmark, I think, they sometimes have a sale where they sell old books out for no money. Or the charity shops, you can go in and perhaps, if you are nuts about orchids, you can buy an old book with orchids and use the images there, and use another old book, and you have perhaps used $1 or so, and you have for many hours of enjoyment making such a book as I'm starting on here now. And it is for your own amusement, and when you're done, you can look at it sometimes and remember of all the nice time you spent doing it, and look at the images you have chosen to put in. You really don't need a lot. And if you don't have all the gel prints like I have, you can use old magazines or old newspapers or your kids' drawings, or use what you have and be happy with that. But I, of course, will show you some different ways you can use things here in my book. But if you have been happy and enjoying seeing this video here and you want to see part 2, please give me a comment about that. I think I will make it anyway, but give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very much appreciated. And else I will just say please be playful and creative, and that would save your mind here in these crazy days we are living in right now. And also I would say, please be nice to everybody. That the simplest thing we ordinary people can do in our daily lives. So I won't blah anymore. I will just say goodbye and take care. Hi.